are you?
Hey, Trey, it's so awesome to be here. It's absolutely surreal hearing you give the intro. And I'm like many of the people watching, like normally at home, like, here, good morning, everybody. And like to be here is such an honor.
Lloyd, well, I just got to thank you personally because you're one who tags and shares the stream, and you are definitely a huge person who is watching, supporter of Converge and The Day with Trey. Thank you for all that love. We feel it over here.
Oh, my God, thank you. Like the only reason I'm here is because of the love you guys have been given the last, I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to reach out because, like,
Yeah, it's all good. It's good. It's good to have you here. Well, you are an event organizer. You've been out here, connecting with community and bringing some things to light. Tell us what got you into doing that role, like saying, I want to be an event organizer. I want to be able to, pull these things together so our community can have some ways to celebrate and come together.
Yeah, well, it was you and Omari, really, like, coming down here every day during the pandemic, I fell in love with Pioneer Square, and like all of a sudden, gone. And even before the pandemic, people were always talking bad about it, like, oh, yeah, Pioneer Square, and people across the, like that. And it's so pretty. There's so much history, right? And there's so much life and spirit. And you guys were down there, and you didn't leave, right? And I wasn't going to leave either. They closed our office. We went virtual. No, man, I found somebody who was struggling, and I started, like, co-renting from somebody to be down there every day, and it just like, I just couldn't leave it alone. I was so scared at night when, other places were getting smashed up.
Yeah.
So it's like, it became just something I really felt somebody had to look after, and why not me, right? Like, where could I fit in? Could I complain? Could I sit home and, like, worry? Or could I come downstairs and clean up the entryways and smile at people? Just smile at people. I was like, look in the Pioneer Square. Not scary, is it?
Right.
People crazy,
Right.
like,
Come
that
on
kinda
down.
tourist bureau stuff.
Yeah, well, that really is huge because we need more folks like you who do the work of, hey, I'm going to find a way to see myself as a part of the solution. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure that folks know what's going on. And also, too, it's important that we change the narrative. I'm always talking about this, Lloyd. And, that means it takes all of us to be able to do that, to change the narrative together. Yeah. And so I love that you said, I can be the one to step up and do this, and that you stayed here in Pioneer Square. I mean, people can say what they will. I think a lot of it is because we do see, homeless encampments or those who are unhoused. And unfortunately, there's all these stigmas that come with it. But I guarantee you, almost no one has really had conversations with those folks to start even building relationship. You will find a wide variety of ways of how someone found themselves in that predicament. Yeah. And so I love that you really have taken it on full head of speed.
About that, I got really tired of hearing people complain, but stay home.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to, if you're not using the park in this emergency, and they're using the park, you can't be complaining. Like, so, and I was like, well, let's use the park. And what did they do during the pandemic? Remember the Judkins Park party?
Yeah.
That was so huge. It blew my mind. And that's when I was like, damn it, we're going to do that in Pioneer Square.
Oh, great.
We're going to do that.
Well, pulling together an event like this, though, takes a lot of different, community connections. Tell us how you were able to kind of build a village to now be able to bring something amazing to Pioneer Square.
Yeah, it started maybe a year and a half ago. Really deep in the, like, nothing's happening. We got to make something happen. We got to change the narrative, like you said. Yeah. Absolutely, right? Because we can write it, and we can be who we want to be. We can be what we want. And I wanted to be different. I wanted to make a difference, Like, I saw you guys just really do it every day. Just, why not? Try. So, just talking about it, I put out a survey. I got really inspired by the potlatches of around the turn of the century, where every neighborhood had a booth, right? Like some of these pictures might have been from the potlatch, where like every neighborhood had a booth. Like the Japanese had a booth, the CD had a booth, it was a big get-together, meant to get together, thrown by optimists. They called themselves the Optimist Club, right? So I was just, oh, geez, like, we got to do that. Why not, right? Why not? Emily, who's probably watching right now, we wanted to, like, do a corn roast last year, but I couldn't find any corn, but, like, why not? So talk about it for a year, did a survey. I couldn't get a permit. I couldn't apply for a permit until the new year, till late January. But then I had to have insurance right away. I don't know. But, I've been doing like art walks and stuff for a long time. So I knew a lot of the community and knew a lot of the pop-up vendors from like throwing pop-up events out there too, So just put the word out. And so I just knew they'd come because there's love. There's so much love out there and so much like wanting to change the narrative and like quit your complaining and start doing, like, so here's something you could do. This is your Pioneer Square. Come on down, huh?
Right. Well, thank you for being the champion of this so that folks actually have something to clean their feet and clean their teeth into to a certain degree, because that's necessary. If you don't have the pathway, you don't know how to even get on the path. Right. So it's great that you said, you know what, we can do something fun. Tell us about this Pioneer Square, what is it, music festival? I mean, you have a lot going on here. Tell us more about this event.
So it started because we wanted a block party like everybody else has a block party. Pioneer Square doesn't get a block party. We're the oldest neighborhood, but no block party. And then it really peeved me. Like, we have such a bad neighborhood. We're going to have Major League Baseball here, right, for the whole month of July, and they're completely bypassing Pioneer Square. I'm sorry, I'm going to get really mad and like cry, because there's like a lot of people who like stayed in business throughout this whole thing while others just boarded it up and made it look trashy. Invited people to camp in front, basically, because nobody's using that doorway. They're not going to use that doorway for years, right? And that's what they were telegraphing clearly to everybody in Pioneer Square. So like, no, like, we can change that, right? Like, it's open up, let's be safe. So everybody just kind of got on board. I don't know where the market. We start with the market. Like, I get the permit so I can have the park for the market, right? And make the market as big as possible, which might have been a mistake because it made it as expensive as possible, right? Because I had to like pay for it up front, to get the park. And then like, you get enough mass. I figured if I get enough mass from the market, I'm gonna have bands, right? Like, it'll justify like music. So like, well, I'm gonna have 8 hours. I can get a lot of bands in there. So I started putting word out. I got great bands from Everett down to Tacoma. I got reggae to rap. I got like psychedelic rock to pop. Like these bands, these kids, and it's also all like out of the basement of the pandemic. These kids just like, the world told them no, stay home, do nothing, and they didn't. They just grinded and grinded. So they all know each other and play. So like, put them together here, in the park. So boom, music festival and market.
Wow.
First annual, why not?
Lloyd, this is fantastic. Yeah. I am so looking forward to this, and I get a little present here because this is the first annual Pioneer Square Market and Music Festival, and Lloyd was sweet enough to make sure that I get to participate, and I get to have a purple t-shirt just like the one he's wearing. So you got me, Lloyd. I'm so excited to be there and to actually experience what you put together. Before I let you go, look right there in that camera. Let them know, how do they participate? When is this? Give us the details.
So Saturday, June 10th at America's favorite Pioneer Square, we're going to be having the Pioneer Square Summer Market and Music Festival. It'll be running from 11 to 6, but it won't just be in the park. The whole neighborhood's going to be activated. If you have a favorite business down there, be sure to hit them up. They'll probably be doing something too, because it's not just about the park, it's not just about the market. It's about Pioneer Square and making everybody feel like it's their Pioneer Square. So come on down, I hope to see you. There's room for volunteers. Check Picture Seattle online, pictureseattle.online.
Oh, Lloyd, thank you so much for being here and for doing the work to see yourself as a part of the solution. I appreciate you 100%.
Amen. Thanks.
This is exciting.